I've been traveling to wild places for decades. There's no better place on Earth to view these massive bears than Katmai National Park. I'm Art Wolfe. Join me on this Travels to the Edge.
The Katmai coast is the largest intact, uninhabited coastline left in North America. Once you get up in the air and you start to fly along this coast, you really see the extent and the variety of the land formations. This is a great place to come, whether you're a photographer or a naturalist or somebody that just wants to see nature raw and pristine. Hi.
Nice to meet you. All right.
Finally, at last, we're here. Where are we right now?
We're anchored up right here.
I'm joining bear expert Derek Stoneroff and naturalist Brad Joseph to explore this wild coast.
One thing, Art, they try to do in Alaska is identify habitats that are critical, and these sedge flats are really, really critical habitats for the survival of brown bears.
When people think of bears and they see this really wild peninsula, they really think it's the mountains and the forests. That's the reason the bears are here, but it's really about what the ocean brings to them. I can't wait to get out there and see these bears.
All up and down the Katmai coast, there's these tidal flats with sedge grasses growing. It's a big drawing part for the bears, and if these meadows were not here, the bears wouldn't be down here at this time of year. They're the first areas to green up.
So these bears will spend how much of the day just eating food?
Differing in amounts, but you can expect to see some bears down here all the time. They might eat 16, 18 hours a day. A lot of these guys might double their body weight. These sedge meadows are real important for bears for social behavior and meeting each other.
He seems awfully interested in her.
Yeah, it's mating season. He's definitely following her around, and she's definitely tolerating him at a much closer range. That's one way to tell if you see a mating pair.
I'm walking gently, I'm in the road. The sun is up in the sky. I'm ready for romance. My heart is full of joy. I'm strolling away, far from the bus. Don't have no hesitation. I'm gonna rejoin my love and start a cozy home.
From where I'm standing, I can count 8 bears. And they're constantly popping up and disappearing as they go up and over these little rises. And it makes it exciting because you never know where one's coming up.
Bears aren't grazing animals. They have a very difficult time digesting grass. These are very specific kinds of sedges, and it's only in these little pockets right here in the intertidal areas that these sedges grow. The other thing that happens when these really high tides come in fact, it's the second highest tide in the world here, it floods these meadows with salt water, brings in a lot of seaweed and algae and things.
In a month, this river could be filled with salmon.
Absolutely. It's perfect timing for the bears because just as soon as these sedges go to seed, the salmon show up. It's absolutely designed to be the perfect habitat. There's always food supply for these bears.
These bears don't have to go too far afield. They get their salmon, they get their vegetables, their salads, and it's a huge buffet for these bears. Right behind us is another bear. We got 3 right in front of us, and I'm not too concerned about the one behind us, are you?
Oh, I'm keeping an eye on them. I mean, they're doing their thing. We're sitting here doing ours. It's okay. We're not the focus of their attention.
From this distance, it's pretty obvious for me to tell female now that I've been around these bears for a couple of days, but from a distance, what are the main things that you look for?
Females tend to be blonder, but there's a lot of exceptions with color. But it's mostly body proportions and how they're built. They're built fairly differently. The males have a longer neck, longer legs, longer body, and although their head is much larger, from a distance it looks a lot smaller in proportion to the rest of the body. The biggest females might get to 800-900 pounds. The largest males could get to, 1,600.
It's amazing how close they're coming to us, and the fact that we're sitting low and talking quietly, they just seem not afraid.
Yeah, this is really the right way to handle being close around these bears. We're in a submissive position. We're sort of neutral. We're non-threatening.
Grizzly bears and brown bears are one and the same bear.
Yes, they're definitely the same species.
These are the same bears that everybody fears in the Rockies, the great predator, the dangerous animal, and look, it's just like a cow in a field right in front of us.
These bears haven't been hunted since 1920. Their instinctual fear of people has been washed away in generations of sort of a peaceful coexistence. If we treat them with respect, they treat us with respect.
This trail looks almost like a bear freeway to me.
Generations and generations of bear traffic, just over and over, have just worn these grooves. These trails are like super highways that just interconnect all of the drainages and the food sources the bears use. It's just a very complex network of trails all up and down the Katmai coast.
So obvious how they keep their feet into each track on left foot and right foot, and I have no idea what the significance of that is, and you probably don't either.
No, it's one of the mysteries of bears.
Well, let's follow this trail and see where it leads us.
We're right in the heart of the largest population of protected bears in the world. 4,000 to 5,000 in this area.
4,000 to 5,000 brown bears.
Yes,
wow.
They're all within the national park, all protected.
It's absolutely miserable out right now. It's cold, it's windy, it's rainy, it's bear weather. There's a mother with a cub, and they're just wandering around, and we've done a couple things to help us get shots. One of which is we're facing away from the wind and the rain. The other thing is we've gotten low, and if we're really quiet and we move slow, they're likely to come very close to us. We're not approaching them, we're going to allow them to approach us. She may go right back up on that ridge. This is good. This is going to be great. This cub and this mother are on this high ridge overlooking this plain with at least 13 adult bears. So she's a little reticent to getting down low. She wants to know where all bears are because occasionally boars will take a cub. And so she's very cautious. She's looking around, and she puts her head up, getting a really nice shot. This is a long ways I'm shooting, probably at least a half a mile away. 1,000 millimeter in overcast conditions, very slow shutter speed. But a great shot.
That's an awesome shot. It just really shows the power of the bear and just the whole body.
So I've photographed bears for 20 years. I've never gotten a shot where the bear is standing straight up like a human, staring straight at me. And it really looks threatening, but in reality, it's just standing up to get a better look.
As soon as low tide rolls around, the bears appear out of nowhere. The bears know when low tide is. I don't know if it's by smell or just internal timing, but they're very in tune with the tides and the timing of the tides.
Hallow is famous for its clam-eating bears. Off to your right, there's a bear over there, and you can see behind her, she started to dig. There's piles where she's dug a hole and then moved on to the next one. I think each hole's probably a clam.
What I really like about this shot is the simpleness of the landscape. You can see all the claws, the feet, there's just nothing impeding our view of this beautiful bear, and it's extraordinarily beautiful with the long golden fur just blowing in the breeze. I love the background, the light, and the thing that I like the most is the fact that it's totally unaffected by our presence. It's a very candid way of photographing a wild animal in a beautiful, simple landscape.
Brown bear is superbly equipped. It's a digging bear. Of all the 7 species of bears, these are the diggers. He's got this great big hump, which is really a big hunk of muscle, and they've got extra long claws. If you compare a bear claw to a polar bear claw or a black bear claw, they're shaped differently, but they're meant for digging.
Whenever I'm photographing a new environment, I love not only to shoot the grand landscape, but also the intimate details. I've found a really nice shot of washed up kelp and seaweed. I've made it important by zooming in with a macro lens. I love doing that. I love revealing things that people often pass by. The diversity along this Katmai coast is incredible. Every time we turn around, there's a new species. Right now, I've got tufted puffins on a beautiful lichen-covered rock. These are beautiful little birds. They're almost comical. They look like clowns. I'm using a 1,000-millimeter lens with a 1.4, which is the equivalent now of a 1,400-millimeter lens to bring them in and to get a satisfying view. Behind me, there's a bald eagle nest literally in the grass. And I've situated this camera slightly above so I can take in the dark background of the distant mountains. What I'm waiting for and what I'm hoping for is a bald eagle literally landing at the nest with its wings spread out. With follow focus, I can just stay on this bird.
hour, and I can see it just coming. It's about a couple hundred yards off, but as soon as it gets close, that's nice, with her laying on her back legs. She's going down, she's going down. That is funny. Beautiful female. Looking up at us, gonna sit down, gonna sit. I love it. Now it's gonna fall, 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 fall. Ah, nice behavior. Look at how it's just playing with its paw. It is so roly-poly. It looks and exhibits behavior like a panda. I love this. Look at that. Scratching. It's hard to stay up. Whenever I'm shooting a bear or any animal that is exhibiting some comical behavior like this bear right now, it really affects the emotions of the people that ultimately look at the photos. Often one single salient photo that really connects with people is a very effective way of winning their support. That's a really big boar over here. His name is Snaggletooth.
You can see that canine that sticks out. His jaw was broken in a fight, probably a little female during the mating season. Oh wow, he's got blood on his shoulders. He must have gotten in a mating fight.
He was running around, and there was two males over there, and they may have gotten a fight.
Yeah, he got bit.
Pretty powerful stuff to watch.
Yeah, it can be pretty brutal sometimes. It's that basic evolutionary force to mate. It's very strong in these bears, and the difference between mating and not is a very powerful force for these guys, absolutely.
And it was amazing to watch the female. She's just sitting back watching these two guys fight over
She
her.
wants to see who her new boyfriend's gonna be.
God, that was frightening. I'm still just shaking from that.
Yeah.
That was a good moment. When I'm photographing a mother and a cub like this, it's usually when they come together, there's some sort of quick interaction. Momentarily, they come together, they touch noses, or the baby sometimes cuddles up against the mother's chest. Those are the moments I try to click. And it's often just anticipating when they're coming together, being ready for it, like now. Oh, that's nice. The baby is just relaxing and rolling, just doing what little babies do. Ah, that is so cute.
Play is so important for bears, and they play throughout their lives. Mothers play with their cubs, and young bears play with other bears. Even sometimes big males play with other big males. It's a rich part of the bear's life. They're an incredible, incredible creature, and they're capable of extraordinary behavior.
It's so nice to see these animals just playing, just sheer enjoyment of playing and interacting. And they obviously are the same age. They're two females that just are having a great time. Just great to watch this. They look like sumo wrestlers in fur coats. Just full of energy, full winter coats. They couldn't look any better than this. Oh, nice move, great behavior, wow. That's a takedown and a pin. That's 4 points right there. To have a bond of trust between a wild animal and a human being in their environment, it just makes you feel good. You feel like you're connected to the whole ecosystem here.
Coming out here with these bears, sitting here, making eye contact with them unarmed on their terms. I've been all over the world looking at wildlife and different things, and I really think it's the greatest wildlife experience on Earth. It's one of the world's greatest jewels.
You live and you work in a great environment, don't you?
Yeah, it's in my blood.
This is a special, special place. It's an honor and a privilege to have spent time with these wild bears of Katmai. I'm convinced the more we know about these amazing creatures, the better we can coexist with them. I'm Art Wolfe. Join me next time on Travels to the Edge.